Good morning. Good morning. This is Minister Evangelist Crystal Lachelle Lax this morning, waking up, thinking about the memory of Antoine, the life of Antoine. What was it about the life of Antoine? He had a little bit of his mama and his daddy in him. His daddy is an architect. His mama was a paralegal, CNA, minister, and whatever. But Antoine, the life of Antoine impact a lot of people. People loved him some Antoine, and the ladies was just, I don't know. Oh my God. Antoine was like me, a go-getter. Antoine was never afraid to go where he wanted to go, and he never just talked about it. I told him, don't just talk about it. You talk about it, you think about it, how you going to do it, and then you execute. You go do it. Go get it. No matter how far it is. If you want it, you go get it. If you want to achieve it, you go do it. Don't hold back. Antoine never held back. Let me tell you something. My son, I did not know that my black son could ice skate. I don't mean rollerblade, and I don't mean inline blading. I mean this boy was ice skating. Him and Bridget showed me a video of him ice skating. Look at my baby. Look at this black man on ice skate. You see black men on roller skate, but not no ice skate. But this was Antoine. Antoine was adventurous and he was a go-getter. He showed me a video. He's the only man that was in Oregon in the woods by the river. This is Antoine. He was adventurous. He was like me, spontaneous. If There's so many people that talked about us like we've been dogs as a family. They talked about our hands, but we never allowed, I was not allowed growing up to use my hands as a form of a handicap or crippling. My hands did the things that the regular woman hand could do. Antoine and Dominique and I got the small hands in the family, but I never allowed my children to use that as a handicap or a crippling effect. My children, when they learned that from me, that when it's time to get up and go, it's time to get up and go. I never wanted myself to just sit in a place and just wishing and just wondering how a place was. I got up and I went. And I learned in life is that not to get too attached to materialistic things. And Antoine developed that like his mother. I don't have no problem when things get old and worn out to throw it away. And Antoine, I think that him and Bridget would hate the fact that once Antoine get to clean it, that everything gets thrown away that we can no longer use. So we're not taking all this stuff with us. And this is what we learned along the way. We had our struggles, financial struggles, up and down. The family was up and down, but we made it through. Antoine did 8 years in San Quentin. And Antoine came out of there. He tried to make it right with Avena Rucker, the baby mama. He came out buying them Jordan and fixing her table and buying her parts for her cars and taking his son with him. And he loved it until she just didn't want the father to be in a closer relationship with his son. And the other, Kate, Amanda Roberts, just took off with his twin, and he heard it about that. A father can hurt just as much as a mother can. And maybe we don't see it because they hide it. They think that they still got to have that man macho image. But they can hurt just as much as we can hurt as a mother hurting for their child. All he wanted was just to spend time with his children. How many other young men, because Antoine was only 38, but he was a dad that wanted to be there for his sons or his children. How many other young men that had to pass on, like my son, and couldn't be with their children? How many times that some of the young men could have being with their children could have kept them alive because they could have stayed focused on that child. But the mother, if I can't have you, then you're not going to see your son. See, that's an evil thing to do. That's an evil thing to do. And to keep the children away from the father. You understand? Especially a father that shows that I want to be there. You understand? But Antoine was hurting for his children. And Antoine had a lot of he cared. Antoine loved his mama. He loved his mama, but he wasn't going to try to be no mama boy. But he loved his mama though. He loved his mama. He did not want to see me out on the street with heart failure and kidney failure, and just have his mama die like that. So he bought this RV for himself. But then he said, "Mama, this is yours." Because he always said, "I want to buy you a house." And it's like, but he always heard me say, I'm going to get an RV and I'm going to travel and I'm just going to send y'all money. And, while y'all in college, that was my little jokey moment. But he knew that I wanted to have an RV and just travel. And he bought one. And he said, "Mama, this is yours. This is as close to a house as I could get." I was so happy with it. And it was like took it to the desert land, and the desert land just whooped it up. But at the end of the day, my son bought me a house. My son bought me a house. And he said, "Mom, I'm so sorry that I failed you." It's like, Antoine, you never failed me. At the end of the day, Antoine, we all, no matter how people try to make it, bake it, fake it, and shake it, Antoine, you took a negative situation that you got in, and you came out writing books. You got books selling on Walmart. I didn't even know that. And then the school, he was such a respectable young man that the school called me and "How can we help you, Miss Lax?" I mean, my son had so many Hispanics, so many friends of different race, because I never taught them not to play with this color children or whatever. They used to gather around my door. Can they come outside and play? The black kids, the white kids, the Hispanic kids, and they would just play with everyone. It's called getting together. The children can teach us that more than you can. And so Antoine grew up having all type of friends. I mean, he just had the Hispanic guys have respect for Antoine, my son. My son. Hey, big man. Yeah, but boss. I mean, they joke around with him. And Antoine could flow right along with him. And they loved his rap when he got the rapping and flowing for him. And they call him Twan, or Black Crown. So at the end of the day, Antoine, Antoine had a good heart. He had his ugly moments, like we all got. We just ain't truthful enough to say those ugly moments. Because, see, the world had programmed us to always show your best. But some days we are not our best. Is that right? Some days we are never going to be our best all the time. At the end of the day, we try to do our best from day to day, and Antoine tried so hard when he came out to do everything right and try to please everybody. And I said, "Antoine, you can't please everybody." And Antoine, at the end of the day, you done right by Mom. Antoine, I'm always proud of you, Antoine. Baby, at the end of the day, I'm always proud of you. I said, look at you. You came out of prison and you wrote books and you got a degree, the first one to get a degree in the family, associate's degree, and he was working on his bachelor in sociology. My son, Antoine, the one that they say will be the drug dealer of the family, but he didn't. He made some mistakes. He paid the price. And at the end of the day, he came out whooping ass, if you will. He came out rapping, doing his rapping. He would rap, do his beats, and compose music. He was an artist like his dad. His dad is a great architect and a great drawer. And Antoine could draw those faces of Tupac. I said, Antoine, you should put this on T-shirts and your shoes and sell it. You such a good artist. Just like his dad, Milton Lax Jr. Just like him. And smoke weed. That was his thing. No other type of drugs, but his weed was his thing. So I told him, go to the dispenser. You guys start going to the dispenser. I don't agree with that. I don't do it. But at the end of the day, that's their thing. That's they grown. And at the end of the day, I just want them to be safe. Go to the dispenser. And that's what I'm telling people his age and my children's age. Go to the dispenser for safety. But at the end of the day, Antoine got his associate's degree. Antoine bought, I always told my kids, black ownership. Black ownership. This RV is paid for in full, but it won't run. It broke down the day after Antoine died. It broke down because he didn't really want me driving it through Mexico because I was going to hit Arizona, Mexico, then Texas. But then my friend that I met along the way, he said, if you would have went through Mexico to get to Texas, trying to get to your son, the cartels would have ambushed you. And I did have a dream where it was like people was talking and they said, no, wait till you get to Mexico City. So it was like God, that was God stopping down this RV and Antoine after he passed on. No, Mom, you're not driving it no more. And I mean, she doesn't drive. So I had these Mexican guys that's been driving tow trucks by to like try to take it from me and you need to leave it here or we're going to tow it away and all that. So I said, if she ain't drivable no more, that's it. And I ain't got the money or those thousands of dollars to order old parts for an old car. I cut every wire out. My son worked hard for someone to get something and drive off with it. So I cut all the wires, all the wires. So it's going to cost. That means you ain't getting nothing of my son for free. He worked hard just like everybody else. Antoine was a hard worker. Worked 3 jobs if he could and wouldn't sleep at night. Antoine, lay down and go to sleep. Just, work, and worry. Antoine, don't worry. Mom, I got child support. Mom, but see, my baby ain't got to worry about child support. He ain't got to worry about that court system no more. You understand? There's a lot of things that Antoine no longer have to worry about carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. In Jesus' name, there's a lot of you carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. See, a lot of women don't understand something until you have a son and you see the suffering and the loads on your son. They have a lot of responsibility that the world put on them and that the world demand out of one man. You're a son, and you got your family to support and your children to support and your wife to support, and then you're out here in the jungle and male egos and trying to challenge you as a man, and you don't know which man is good for you and which man that you're going to have to throw up with. You're going to have to put your boxing gloves on. I mean, there's a lot that a man go through. You know, it wasn't until I stopped and started seeing the pain of my son as a man that you learn how to appreciate the obligations that the world just throw on men. That's a lot of weight on you. That's a lot of responsibility. But Antoine still handled his like a man, like a young man. You know, at the end of the day, he was 38 when he passed on. 38, that's young. That's still a young man at the end of the day. But he didn't start nothing. But he wasn't no punk neither, just because he had small hands. You know, people talked about our family, but I tell you what, though, we also brought some positive light in the world and made positive impact on people. We never, ever just talked about something. We got up and did it. We got up and went. There's some people want to go places and they stay stuck. They stay stuck. They want to stay stuck. Never allowed themselves to even see the state next to them because they too afraid to get up and go. We can't allow ourselves to just stay stuck. If you want to go to California, start making plans and go to California. Stop talking about it. Get your tail up and get up and go. Well, I don't want to go because how much vacation time that you got? You working for these people that if you fell down and broke your back, they're not going to care about you. So you utilize your vacation time and take time out for yourself. Take time out for yourself. That company's still going to be there, even if you ain't there for a whole week or two. Take vacation for yourself. Get up and go. Oh, I always wanted to see New York. Get up and go. Our family was never afraid to get up and go and adventure. We was very adventurous, spontaneous. We was not afraid to explore and meet all kind of different people of different language. They was nice to us. We was nice to them. My children that so many people talk about in the family. Let me tell you something. If you stop looking at us from a negative light, you might see some positive in us. You might see a little light of God in us. You can't be the only one holy and righteous on this earth. I don't think that we as a family can stay to have any type of evil 24 hours, 7 days a week of how people have tried to paint, if you will, a picture. Okay. Antoine was a light of laughter. When you go to his TikTok, he has over close to 14Ks. He was always popular. The children was always popular children. They had the good, bad, and the ugly. But who don't have good, bad, and the ugly going on with them? We all got it. But some people just love pointing out our family ugly side. But we don't bother nobody. We won't start nothing with you. We mind our own business. Antoine love his game and his um what was his game and his composing his music. He could do all kind of music. Rap fast, rap it slow. That love, compose a romantic love for you, baby rap. Antoine, Jermaine Lax, Lax, born April the 1st, 1987. He was my April Fool baby. And he was funny, but he was serious. But he was funny. The only black man that I know. Well, there's a couple of them out here that had a credit score over 700 and what 30 730 for a credit score. He never married. Unfortunately, I was hoping for God to bless him with a wife, a good a good wife, and for them to take that credit score and buy them a house and maybe have another baby for grandma. Altogether, I got 10 grandchildren and 2 sets of twins in the family. And Antoine is one twin. Levi, his sons, if you will, is Avant, and he's about 11 in San Francisco. And the twins, the mother took off, and the last that we heard that they may be in Oregon, but that would be Levi and Jordan Lags. My son left his seed behind. My son, oh, he just couldn't keep it in his pants. My son left his male seeds behind. He left sons to carry on. My Avant, he wants to be a train conductor. He already know about the trains in San Francisco. I don't know what Levi and Jordan want to be, but they look like Antoine. But Antoine left his seed behind. That Antoine left his sons behind. That they can know that they daddy, though, was a outgoing man, that was a black man that wanted to be there. That Antoine never gave up. Antoine, when he made mistakes, and this is what I loved about Antoine. If only a lot of men can adapt that type of attitude, that when he messed up, he learned to be accountable for his mistakes. Or when he messed up, he would come back. He had such a guilty conscience when he did wrong. He will come back to you and apologize. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was wrong for that. I was tripping. That's one thing about Antoine. He will come back and apologize. Some men, when they do wrong by a woman, their ego is too prideful to go and apologize to her and make it right. Antoine always tried to make it right. And I said, Antoine, in these women's life, you're not always in the wrong. Now, how do they feel when he ain't here and they accused him and blamed him, lied on him, that he did this to me and then now he ain't here for you to blame now. What you gonna do now? He ain't here when he wanted to take my son and spend time with my son to take a load off of you. You misread him, misread him. He ain't here no more for that. Now you got the load of raising him a son, a boy, and a woman cannot teach a boy how to be a man. What you gonna do now? He wanted to be there as a man. And you know, a daddy may have to be a little bit tough on a boy. But the mama wanted to baby the boy. And Antoine is like, yeah, but he still got to be a little, I know how I'm talking to my son. These daddies do got rights. It takes a minute. It took a minute for me to understand that until I started seeing my son. You do have father rights. And the mama try to act like you ain't got no rights. And then when you get a new girlfriend, she don't like the girlfriend. Well, if I can't have you, then you not going to see your son. Now you here by yourself. And that boy is getting older and older. What you going to do? All Antoine needed sometime was just that male to just talk to him and snap him back in his right mind. There was cops. There was a white cop that showed him how to tie a tie. And he was so fascinated by that. He was showing me, Mama, I know how to do a tie. Because I would just buy I didn't know how to tie a tie myself. So I would just buy those clip-on ties. Here, you put it on the shirt, and then come on, let's go to church. Let's go. But a white cop and this one white man that was fixing the tire for him was just really stooped down like a father figure and talking to a black young man about this. You say you're going to take the tire and you're going to do this. And Antoine just listening and watching, okay, because that's one thing about Antoine. Antoine wanted more wisdom and more to learn. He didn't mind learning. If you talk to him right, he didn't mind learning from you. You understand? There was even when he had bad moments of being locked up, do you know that those male cops had favor for him? Because he had respect for them. Antoine, even out on the streets, they had respect for Antoine because he had respect for them. My son, he said this to me. He said, Ma, don't ever worry about me because I pretty much did whatever I wanted to do. I pretty much went wherever I wanted to go. He went to Texas to go look for a job and he got shot in the back. Cold-blooded murder twice by a white man. You understand? Looking for a job because he couldn't find one in Amarillo. Looking for a job. Him and his girlfriend, Bridget. But hey, at the end of the day, we got to think about the good thing about Antoine. We got to think about the good thing of Antoine. Because Antoine got any kind of car he wanted. Antoine, don't let him get no money up in his pocket. You can't tell him nothing. He got that juice. You know, if he wanted a BMW, he'd go get it. If he wanted a Mercedes, he'd go get it. If he wanted a Dodge Charger, he'd go get it. Antoine was a go-getter. Antoine did not just sit around. He didn't allow himself to sit around. He didn't feel good just sitting around. He wouldn't even date a woman if he ain't had a job. Some men need to learn that. You know, you broke as heck. What you doing trying to talk to a woman? But he wouldn't. He just felt bad. He just felt bad and didn't feel good not having a job and trying to pick up women. He would wait until he get that job and get money up in his pocket. But that was just my son. He looked after his mama, Bridget Johnson, his girlfriend, everyone, and just the weight of the world. The weight of the world put a lot of pressure on men. The weight of the world, see, we as women have been taught that they're just ATM machines. Look at them as ATM machine, money men. But they carry the weight of the world on them. When you look at all the list of responsibility that the world expects a man to carry on them, and it doesn't matter what color that they are, but when you stop looking at them as a ATM machine and they're just a human, they just got that man in them that if the car broke down, he's going to take the gas can and walk to the gas station and he's going to keep you there. No, I want you to stay in this car and I want you to stay safe, lock the door and so, because that's the man. The man will take that long walk even if his leg is hurting. Wait a minute. A good man will look after you and want you to be protected. So he'll tell you that if it's on a hot day, no, keep the AC on and lock the door. And I'm going to go get some gas and bring the gas back. Because that's what a man has been trained to do, protect and do. And that was my son. And he have never talked about anybody, mama. Never videotape somebody, mama, trying to be funny. No, Antoine will sit up there and he'll help her get across the street. And yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. Because that's what they learned earlier in their life, mannerism and respect. And my son had respect I wonder how many people that ran across my son could say that he disrespected me. He clowned me all on social media. Not my son. Not my son. Antoine had respect for other people's mother. Antoine respected other people's mama. If he seen that they was in some kind of dire need, there's Superman. He trying to help out. So at the end of the day, he said, Mama, I lived a good life. I mean, I had my bad moments. This is Antoine. I had my bad moments. But Mama, I lived a good life, Mom. I got a chance to get my cars. I wrote books. He left behind books that he's written. It's going to always be on google.com when you type in Antoine Lex. He's the author, the writer, the psychologist, black man on ice skates at the end of the day. He did good. He took his wrong and made it right and tried to make it right. Even with this being shot in the back, he was arguing and he tried to turn away from the argument, and the white guy pride just wouldn't let him turn away from him. Because a black man, I'm not going to let a black end have the best of me. And he had something to prove, if you will. He wanted to prove something to my son, so he shot my son twice in the back and murdered my son. But my son is with God now. I had my last visit with him, and he was worried. He was worried about leaving me. I said, Antoine, you dead. You got to cross over to the other side. Just use the word of God to get to the light. And he wouldn't let go of me for a while. And I said, I'm not going to let go of you until you have peace. Till you feel peace. Don't be afraid. Go ahead. And I seen this bright light. I seen the dark side, shadow. But then I seen that bright light like the sun. And I felt him leaving, and he kept on trying to hold on. Go ahead, Antoine, baby. Go ahead. Go into the light. Go ahead. Go, Antoine. And he kept looking back at me. He loved his mama. And he kept looking back at me. I said, go ahead, Antoine. And then when he finally let go of my hand, it was like some children popped up. And you know how you take your children to the daycare center. And as soon as their favorite friend come on, Antoine, come on, let's play. Let's go. And that's how it was. He looked back at me that last time, like your baby look back at you when they're going inside the daycare center. He looked back at me that last time. And then the kids distracted him to go play. No more worries. No more child support worries. No more bills. No more. He could sleep and rest. Be up there with the rest of his family. He's loved. He doesn't have fake love anymore. He have the unconditional love of God. He knows that he loved. He doesn't have women faking their love just for money. He knows that they're loved. He knows that they're loved, that he's loved. So at the end of the day, I want people to know that he is in God's hand, if you will. We're going to have memorial service in Indianapolis. That's the goal. That's what we're striving for, so that his sister won't be in trouble and leave the state. So I wanted to share this 35 minutes, but it was worth it. It's talking about my son and a black man on ice skate. I couldn't get over that. Oh my God. My son was adventurous and no telling with Antoine. No telling. And he had a personality that could get people to laugh at the end of the day. He was funny. He was funny. That's why I loved me some Antoine at the end of the day. My son was funny, but he was serious about taking care of business. He had that side. So at the end of the day, think about the good memories and pray about this murder case that he's trying to self-defense. Black man started it. The black man made me afraid, and that's why I got 2 guns in my hotel room and selling weed at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, think about justice for Antoine Lax because he's deserving. Somebody wrote a nasty comment and said, "Why are you sharing this with us? Who cares about the death of your son?" Some people can be nasty, but sometimes you won't feel how another person feel until you lose your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, and somebody close to you. And then maybe that'll wake you up out of your snotty, sarcastic, and condescending comments. I don't even pay. I block and delete when it's nasty like that. I don't have time to go back and forth. Life is too short, as you can see. So your goal is set your goal, leave negative people behind. That's one thing that I taught my son and my children. Whether they listen to you or not, it's still deposited in them. Negative and toxic people gotta go. If they won't respect you, they gotta go. And I really don't want to be around negative people, whether it's family or not. If you cannot respect me for who I am, then you gotta go. And I have people literally trying to force their negativity in my life. And that's something that we don't play. Homie, don't play that. Because we'll try to get away from you as far as possible. If that means, hey, is there a ticket to the moon to get away from toxic, negative people? We will buy that ticket and take that moon trip. Because don't allow yourself to be poisoned by the toxic and toxemia of negative people. Because they're miserable and they always talking about, I want to go here and there, and they never go nowhere from their one spot that they was born in. They never ever went to the next state over. Next state is Nevada. I want to go and see the casino. It's not that far from Arizona or California. And you could get in your car and take that trip. It's just that easy. You could get on a bus, a plane, train, and you're there in Las Vegas. From California to Las Vegas. What is that? Only an hour or two? Bam. I mean, why are you making a trip that is only an hour, like the children of Israel in the desert for 40 years, 40 years of being trapped, stuck in the desert when it was only a day or 11-hour or a day trip, and you would have been in the promised land. If you want to go to Vegas, why don't you make appointments, arrangement, booking, reservation, and just go? You only got one life to live, so why are you living everybody else's life except your own? Get up and go, like Antoine, like my family. They try to act like our family have not shown anybody anything, but we have been a living open book testimony to a lot of people. If you look at us in a negative way, that's all that you're going to see. But if you open up your eyes and you see the positive, the strength of this family, how we keep going, you can have the whole world up against you. But our family teach you how to keep going. Our family teach you not to care about what they say about your little hands and your bald head. Our family teach you to keep going on. No matter who's talking about you, how they talking about you, the way that they're talking about you. No matter how many people that they go run and get, let them get them. You need me to help you to go add to the list? Let them get them, because I'm going to still keep going on. No matter how much they talk about you, no matter how much that they laugh and go get their friends, family, you still keep going on. Because life don't stop with them. They're not going to be the first one to talk about you, and they will not be the last. You keep on going. In the midst of a crowd that's laughing and talk about you, you keep on going and keep it pushing. When you lose a loved one, you mourn, you groan, and let God take you through the process. But it is still teaching you day by day to move on. Antoine will want his family. Move on. I'm okay. I'm having fun. It's y'all down there worrying. So we dedicate this to my son that God gave me as a loaner. And I gave him back to God when he was first born. So I'm giving him to God completely, permanently, until we meet again. Love you, Antoine. Jermaine Lax. Born April 1st, 1987. You will always be in your mama heart. Always. Mama will always love you forever and ever and ever.